What's going on, guys? This is Josh
and James
of the MMA Complex, and we are back. Brand new episode. It is November 1st.
Yeah.
Damn, 2018. It's already almost that time.
And I was tripping out.
What time of the year?
Last night when it was Halloween. Dude, it's Halloween night.
Yeah, it's already.
It seemed like Halloween because I was indoors the whole time. I saw trick or treaters when I was leaving my girlfriend's house, but I was like, man, it's Halloween night.
Yeah.
And I remember a time in my life where Halloween was a big thing, and now it's like I truly feel like an old man because it's like just another day. But I always get excited for Halloween, but then when it comes, I was like, it's whatever.
I was excited for it, but it's like in the middle of the week. It's especially with my schedule right now, I'm like, I got no time for anything, man. So it's different this year. Me, I'm always like, I like it. I enjoy it. I'm not a big Halloween guy. I know some people are really, really into Halloween, but I just enjoy the night or that week, the weekend for parties and stuff like that. So did one of those on Saturday before this past Saturday. And then last night I was asleep most of the day. Watched a really cool Korean zombie movie. You have to check that out. Watch that last night.
Yeah, I
watched it on my own.
I always enjoy your recommendations. They're always good.
If you don't mind watching subtitles, I would say it's Train to Busan.
No, I mean I just finished watching Attack on Titan season 1, and that's all subtitles.
Watch Train to Busan. It's really good. It's like probably one of the best zombie movies I've seen in a while. And I'm not a big horror movie guy either, but it looked good, and I kept watching it the entire time. I was entertained the whole time.
Yeah, I'm watching Making a Murderer season 2.
How's that going?
Good.
Yeah.
It's like it's frustrating seeing that.
Yeah.
Seeing how stupid like people can be.
So the young one is a Brendan Dassey. Is he?
Yeah.
He obviously he's coming off as innocent, right? Or how does it look?
I think he got released.
Did he get released?
He was about to get released, and then the Attorney General stopped it, saying that he's a threat. So it's dumb because it was a coerced confession.
Yeah, I remember.
There wasn't any evidence.
He just wanted to go home, and he's like, I'll just tell you whatever. Just will go home.
He's like really slow.
Yeah,
and it's like you can't deny that he's innocent. I mean, this guy, after all that happened, the one question he asked was, "Am I going to make it home to watch WrestleMania?"
Yeah,
like in his head, he thought it
was like, yeah, like
he can go home after he says what they wanted to say, and he can go home and watch wrestling.
Yeah, no, I remember that video. They played him. They took advantage of him and his mental state. And
it was cool that the guys from DX went to go visit him in prison.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
nice.
Like shortly after.
Yeah.
I think X-Pac and it's a few other wrestlers.
How so this season focuses on what exactly?
So there is a famous attorney that's known to get wrongful convictions overturned. She's like the best in the nation.
Yeah. And
she sees the case and she goes, you got to be really stupid to find this guy guilty. And she's kind of like knocking the defense lawyers from season 1, saying that why didn't they ask this and why didn't they ask that? She was saying pretty much that all they had to do was hire a splat blood expert, and then he would have been innocent. Yeah.
That's pretty. I don't know too much about the technical side of stuff, but I can.
But she hired one, and it's obvious that it was planted. And the thing was cool about her is that she bought the exact same truck that he was using at the time, and she gets like blood. Or like fake blood, and she goes, "Okay, let's see how
it looks and
how the markings lays there."
Yeah,
it's like it's like scientific fact, like proof backing her up.
Yeah,
there's no way you can argue against that.
Yeah, and
then like a lot of shady stuff, and like saying, I don't know how people because she was saying that the girl that got killed, she's like blaming her ex-boyfriend. Because like he seemed to be in Avery's Stephen Avery's property.
And he was involved in the search party. Yeah. No, I remember in the first season they kind of pointed at him as being a really suspicious.
Yeah, because they're saying she was saying like November 1st and 2nd, they didn't find anything. But then when he went to his property on the 3rd, that's when they found the key and everything else.
Yeah, yeah. So, is there any? Well, I don't want to give it away, I guess, but is it kind of? Does it focus on that ex-boyfriend a little bit, or no?
In the next episode, I think they are.
Uh-huh.
But she's want to take. She's like her goal is not to take it to trial again.
Yeah.
She wants to just talk. She wants to just talk to the judge and present him all the evidence.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's also, like there's gonna be a risk.
Yeah.
Putting it on trial, because what if he just gets convicted again?
No, that's a good show. I gotta get on that. Another one though, which is really good that I took some time to watch is the Bodyguard or Bodyguard.
With Whitney Houston?
No, that's what I thought, and I think it's like a British version of it, but he's kind of like he's got to watch like a politician, and he's involved in this big what's it called bombing situation, and he's got a negotiator. He ends up being a negotiator really early on in the first episode. It's like that's how it starts, and then he gets assigned to this politician, and then he's pretty much.
It's a series.
It's a series.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
All right,
It's been getting a little bit of buzz, so I wanted to check it out. And it's like a European show. It's like a BBC type of show. Whatever.
Those BBC shows are always really good.
This one's the action's really good. The story's really good. They have a little bit of the main guy has a little bit of like a Irish Scottish accent, so it's a little heavy. But he's one of the brothers that was on Game of Thrones. He's one of Jon Snow's brothers. So that actor is on there. He's the main guy. But the action is really good. There's not a whole lot of action. It's like a little bit of Bourne Identity, James Bond meets like Whitney Houston's The Bodyguard. Almost. It's like
awesome.
It's like a combination of the two. But that was another show that's really good.
I'm watching Before 90 Days too. I'm on season 2, which is so it's so much better than season 1.
Yeah.
It's getting so good. It's getting good.
That's a good show. I like that one.
This is like African guy from Nigeria. He's like 30 and he's like dating a 56-year-old like heavyset lady from Georgia. But this girl is like so loud and blunt. And over there in Nigeria, like African men are usually like the
dominant ones. Yeah.
And so his friends are, what the hell? Who's this girl? Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah. The culture is completely different, and then you get some, American, even
like loud. As he punks him.
Yeah, I can imagine. She's probably Americanized. She doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, she's just like, no.
She goes, I'm American, so like we're either 50-50 or I'm in charge. Like it's up to you.
Meaning like she's in charge.
He goes, okay, but babe. Oh my god, that's crazy.
A lot of those guys are like older white men or older men with females that are either international, they're from another country, or vice versa. You have an American woman and an international man, and then they marry them within those 90 days, so they can. It's like green card type of stuff, right?
Yeah, but this show, before 90 days, it's them meeting them for the first time. This is before they get the K1 visa. K1 visa is an engagement visa. So this is them like talking online and then going out there. It's usually the Americans going overseas with them for the first time. If it works out, they're hoping to get a proposal at the end of the season.
There's some good ones on there in terms of attractiveness.
Yeah. Yes.
Some of the international ladies.
The Asian ones are good ones. Yeah. This is a Russian. Oh my god, it's so hot.
So what about wasn't there a Brazilian girl?
Yeah, there's a for this season there's a Brazilian girl. Yeah. And there's like a girl from the Philippines. There's I think that's it. I think the rest are just guys, international guys.
Interesting. Yeah, I gotta watch that one. But I would say two that I watched a couple of movies. Train to Busan, Little Evil. Did you watch Little Evil?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
That one's it's like a horror comedy. That one's really good. I saw that one. Train to Busan.
And Halloween night.
No, I saw that a couple of days before.
Oh, okay.
And then part of the series I'm watching is the Bodyguard.
Oh, and then I think Daredevil season 3 came out.
That one came out. Yeah, I watched episode 1. It's just I haven't had a whole lot of time to watch a series, so I think the only reason I watched Bodyguard is because it I had some time, and the episodes weren't too long, so I just got through it real quick.
How was the first episode?
For Daredevil was pretty good. It was more just a catching up type of episode. It wasn't really anything. Not a whole lot happened. I don't think. From what I remember.
So I read it takes place after the events of the Defenders.
Yeah, which I didn't watch the Defenders.
Oh,
so that's.
I mean, a lot of people don't like it. I liked it a lot.
Like, I heard the Defenders is pretty good. I heard Iron Fist. I know had a little bit of a following after a while. I didn't think it was going to. That one's a little rough to watch.
Yeah, I didn't finish it.
Luke Cage was a little slow.
I finished both seasons.
Now people are saying because those shows got canceled.
Did they? Luke Cage got canceled?
And Iron Fist. But I'm thinking, what I'm thinking, the reason for it is because since Disney's starting up their streaming service, I think they're cutting ties with Netflix on all their properties. So they're just finishing everything out. They're not renewing anything. So
this could be the last season of Daredevil?
It could be, yeah. It most likely will be.
Jessica Jones is great.
Yeah. I think they're going to end all of them at some point. I think where they're just going to finish out what they have already set up, and then they're just going to end it.
It's good. I don't know how it's going to work because those movies are adult themed shows.
Yeah.
And Disney is Disney. I mean, is Disney going to allow Marvel to be?
I think so. They're going to have to. I think that's their fan base. I mean, they're already used to it, pretty much. With the mature content. Things. Yeah, with the Netflix mature content, they're able to get away with it. I'm not sure if Disney is going to be able to.
No, because.
But it's their stuff, so
it's for kids. Kids can easily go on there and click on on the superhero that they know what and then see what they see.
Yeah, I don't think it's just for ratings. I think it's because there's streaming service, so everything that's on there right now is going to stay there, run its course.
I wonder how much this is going to change.
It's gonna. Well, I don't know. Maybe they'll bring back Luke Cage and all that on Disney, and maybe they'll be able to keep the same actors and stuff.
But they have to tone it down because
they could.
Disney is a streaming. The word Disney attracts kids.
Yeah,
and a parent can get I'm gonna get little whatever a Disney streaming service because he's a little kid, and that kid can go Marvel, Iron Man, or
Luke Cage.
Daredevil, Luke Cage, and click on it and see a bunch of sex scenes.
Or they'll kind of manage their app like Netflix, where you can kind of give the kids their own little account. So maybe they could do that. That would probably be the smart way.
They're going to have to do that.
They're going to have to do that. I think that's the best fix for it. But yeah, so I think they're cutting off all these shows, letting whatever they have in production run its course, and then after that,
I'm kind of upset too that Young Justice is now going to be only on DC.
DC is another one. They're starting all their streaming service. So
because Young Justice is such a great show,
I wouldn't doubt if all the DC content gets transferred over there. But I know Marvel has a little bit more control over what they do, so I think they have a little bit more say in where their stuff is sent. DC, I don't think has as much control. I think they'll probably end up a lot on different platforms. Yeah. So that's
sorry for the rant.
That was our rant. Yeah. Maybe we should get to some fights, huh?
This is an MMA show.
So you had UFC Fight Night 138 was this past weekend. Volkan versus Smith. Did the fight go the way you expected to? It was what's his name? Anthony Smith defeating Volkan Ozdemir by submission rear naked choke, third round. It was a back and forth, kind of dominant first couple rounds by I wouldn't say dominant, but like a really back and forth fight before that, and then ended with Smith and getting the submission. Obviously, you had Michael Johnson defeating Arden Labov. You had John Vellante, Ed Herman, which was just a slugfest. Court McGee and Alex Garcia. But the big fight was the main event. So would you see it going that way?
Well, I did pick Anthony Smith to win the fight.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be submission. I don't think anybody ever would have predicted of a submission victory for either fighters. But yeah, I mean, it was a good win for Anthony. I think a lot of people, they just saw Anthony as someone that's a legend killer, like someone that called out like old names and kind of like fed off that
Yeah.
and use that as a stepping stone to become a star. So him beating Volcom is a big thing for him.
Big statement.
That he's a true player in the 205-pound division. So it was a good win for him. Volcom, I don't know. It just seemed like after the DC loss, he's kind of going downhill.
Yeah. He I don't know what happened. He said that I think he just started to gas out, but yeah, this was a big win for Anthony Smith. Huge win for him. I think this is the best outcome that he could have got. I think it's next would most likely be a title shot or another top contender. But
especially that you finish him too, it helps a lot.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of top contenders. I would say there's him now, Ozdemir, Gustafsson, Jones, Cormier. Those are the top guys.
Yeah, 205 division is so shallow.
It is. So basically, I think Anthony Smith's gonna have to take some time off for right now, and let everything play out. Let DC. Let DC run his course, and he's most likely going to fight the winner or the loser of the Gustafsson Jones next. That's probably his next fight.
Or Brock? No,
Brock? No, that's a light heavyweight.
No, heavyweight. Like his
heavyweight
next fight. Period.
No, I'm talking about Anthony Smith. What's next for him after this? There's not a whole lot of options. I think Cormier is not planning on taking a light heavyweight title fight anytime soon. He's going to fight Brunson. He's going to fight Brock, maybe Jones, and then that's it. For Smith, top contenders outside of Cormier, you have Jones and Gustafsson. You got to let them fight in December, and then he's going to take either the winner or the loser of that.
Well, I think DC wanted the winner of Jones and Alexander.
Did he say he still wanted to compete?
He said that he wants to fight Brock, and then after Brock, he wants to either rematch with Jones or fight Alexander.
I didn't know if he was interested in Alexander.
Yeah, I think there was a reason during Fight Week he said that.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, again, it's Smith is just he's waiting on these guys to kind of sort out their business, and then he's gonna get one of those three. But most likely it's gonna be, I think he'll probably end up with like Gustafsson or something like that. Depends on how that fight goes. So.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was like the big card of the weekend. I mean,
I think the fight with the most eyeballs was the Artem Lobov and Michael Johnson. And props to Artem Lobov for taking the fight on short notice against Michael Johnson. Which he wanted him. He wanted to prove that he's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And I think Michael Johnson missed weight, but Artem is seems like he's a good guy. I mean, he said that he was going to still give Michael Johnson his money. That 20% that he got taken out of his purse for not making weight, he was going to give it to him just for even taking the fight.
Yeah. I mean,
that was pretty good of him.
It's just it's funny because like you hear him talking about Khabib and that he can beat him, he can manhandle him.
Oh no, I mean Artem had the chance to fight Khabib when they had that altercation. He knows he wants no part of Khabib.
Yeah.
Even then, if I was just take a swing at him, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? You know, why not? Yeah. So you get jumped a little bit. They're not gonna kill you. Maybe they will, but they're not gonna like. Why not? For your self-respect, at least a little bit. You're cornered. You know, I'm sure Khabib's not expecting it. Just fucking sucker punch him very quick. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right? He's like this close to you.
Yeah.
Just clock him real quick, and then see what happens.
No, but he was saying like if they fight in the UFC that he would manhandle Khabib.
No, not in a like a real organized fight. No, hell no.
He would steam through him.
He might get away with sucker punching them.
Yeah,
but when they're chatting in that hallway.
Because Connor's so much better than Artem. Can you imagine what Khabib would do to Artem?
I mean, it wouldn't be much of a fight. He would just take him down real quick and just grind his ass out, like even worse than what he did at like Connor or anybody else.
Yeah, I think that fight ends in the first round.
Yeah. I don't know if this does much for Michael Johnson. It just kind of keeps his place in the division.
No, it was pretty much a payday for him.
Yeah, Artem doesn't offer too many dangers in different areas, so it's not a big, dangerous fight for him.
I mean, I love when he loses because he's so cocky, and he like, I just love him losing. Yeah.
So, I mean, Artem, I don't know where he goes from here. I think he just kind of stays within the division. He's not going to amount to whole much. Else, he might. People are talking about, does he deserve to be in the UFC? I mean, Yeah, in a way, he's a decent fighter. There's plenty of guys that suck way more than he does. Why not? Just give him a fucking place. I mean,
Is there though?
there is. There's a lot of people in that roster that are not that skilled. They're just not. There's a lot of guys on there that shouldn't be there especially on the undercards, and they're just there because UFC likes to scoop up talent. They can easily go and advance other places, but
I think he should go to like a World Series.
I think honestly, I think he'll do better there.
The
PFL.
PFL. He should go there.
I think so.
Because even in Bellator, he'll get handled by people.
Now, in terms of him fighting top level competition, no, I don't think he's that good. But in terms of just being a part of the UFC, maybe fighting in the undercard, I think he's a fighter.
I think at best he's a top 20.
Yeah, at best. But I mean, I think that still gives him enough room to be at least a player in the company.
But see, in the UFC, like you're there to obviously win a championship.
Yeah. I think he'll find more success, or at least be able to chance that fight for titles.
Because why be in the UFC if you're gonna, like, once you win a couple of fights and you fight like a top 10 guy, you can get your ass handed to him.
Yeah, he's not cracking the top 10. He's just not.
Yeah, so why stay in the league where you can't compete with at least the top 10?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know where he goes from here. I don't know if it's the last on his contract, but I think he's it was a tough fight for him, short notice fight. But I don't.
Yeah.
Who else was on this card? Not a whole lot of people. Gian Villante and Ed Herman. Well, that was like almost a throwback fight, watching those two guys fight. Mm-hmm. It's just not a whole lot of technical skill. Those are two other guys that you already know are not going to crack even close to the top 20. And it's like the fact that there's guys that still fight like that. It's so old school when I watch guys like that when they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know Ed Herman's been around for a while, but Gian Villante is still the same thing. But the way they fight, it's that slug, kind of like Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner, just back and forth. It wasn't even as exciting as that, but there's not a whole lot of technical skill thrown in there. It's very basic. It's very, very. It was like a throwback fight. Almost. I don't know, in a lot of ways. So that was this past weekend. You had PFL. You had other promotions having their events, but that was a big fight over the weekend. Other news, you had Demetrius Johnson and Ben Askren. That's been made official. It's done. It's complete. Trade's being finalized. Everything's done. Now that the dust is kind of settling, you have people like Cejudo commenting, saying that he thinks the division is going to go away. Do you think the UFC is pretty much done with 125?
I think so. I think Dana White, it's kind of over the 125-pound division.
Yeah.
I think that you look at their fights, other than DJ, they're usually put in the prelims or really low on the card.
Yeah.
That just shows you the respect that the UFC has for that division. And when it came to DJ, their biggest star, he didn't do any numbers. And I think that Dana White kind of fed to the fans saying, like, this is a boring division. These guys are boring. I think people have in their minds now when they see a 125-pound fight on a fight card that they automatically going to label it as a boring fight. So I think Dana White is saying all that negative stuff, either to Demetrius Johnson and to the division. I think people have in their minds that it's a division that they're not interested in seeing. And also, I think that eliminating the 125, you get all the big stars at 125 go to 135, and it makes that division even more interesting. So I think so. I think it's gone, or will be gone. I
think it's unfortunate that they're really gonna probably take out that division away. I think they can still promote it with Cejudo there.
But there's no stars either.
There's no stars, but that gives them a chance to go into the Latin market, try again with Cejudo. He's champion. You don't want to strip him of that right away. And then have him fight whoever's there. Just have him go through the Demetrius Johnson route and just take fights. I think it's for the best. I think it's better that they keep it. Will they? I don't know. But I know it's not a big moneymaker of a division, but I think just for his sake and the fact that they can still use Cejudo, and maybe they might even get a little more out of Cejudo than they did Demetrius.
I think because in pro wrestling that they had a belt and like in WCW called it the TV belt, television championship, and that belt was only defended on television. So they can make the 125-pound belt kind of like the TV belt where you defend it only on TV.
Yeah, I don't
have to put it on pay per view. You can defend it on the ESPN shows or the Fox shows.
Yeah, because then
you're title only defended on.
You're gonna force a lot of guys to have to go up. Some guys might even just want to leave Benavidez and stuff like that. And yeah, Cejudo, who was a really good champion, you know, why take it away from him? I think there's good reasons to keep it.
So I think they should only have it defended on television.
Yeah. Put it on like free TV. You know, you don't need to stack it with paper.
Have that be like your television belt.
Yeah, I think that's what you don't have to do it for. On pay-per-view.
There's so much like weight classes where you can put those guys on pay-per-view and just have Cejudo just only defended on television.
Here's the thing. The only thing now, though, is that they like having titles and they like having, pay-per-views. They're still in the pay-per-view model of everything and how the business goes and how that old way of thinking instead of going streaming services or anything like that, which is...
But I think with the 125-pound division, it's an exception only because the UFC knows it's not going to sell.
Yeah. Will they do that? Will they think that way? And
probably not.
Probably not. Probably not. I'm sure they're thinking
I think it's a smart thing to do because I think you get ratings out of it.
Yeah.
You promote a free show with the championship belt. On the line. I think there's interest.
Yeah, I think they should keep it. I think there's plenty of reasons to keep it. You have another belt to put on a pay-per-view somewhere on the card.
Do you think they're going to keep it?
It's 50-50. You know, I don't think they're going to get rid of it right away, though.
No, me neither. I think at some point it's going to be gone.
Yeah. Also, this weekend you have Israel Adesanya fighting against Derek Brunson. That's a really heated fight right there. Israel again is one of those guys that he seems to be really sensitive when it comes to people doubting him or
he definitely has a chip on his shoulder.
He has a chip on his shoulder, and I don't know if it's genuine in a lot of ways. Like sometimes it seems like he wants there to be drama in order to build buzz around him. Like, you know, why starting beefs with, Derek Brunson. And
I mean, it's almost like Ronda Rousey. Like he saw, like before her fights, if there wasn't no beef, she made it she made a way to make it a beef.
Yeah, and that's all. That's what,
like emotionally invested in the fight.
That's what it seems like with Israel. I think there's some mind games going on, but then he was on Ariel's show talking about his beef with Shab, and he even admitted that he wasn't even being talked about. Shab wasn't even talking to him, or he was just kind of going off of the fact that like he took offense to kickboxing not being the best sport to make the transition to MMA, and with this, he's not wrong. I think almost universally, a lot of people agree that wrestling is probably the best one to transfer.
Oh yeah, I mean, wrestling is the foundation of all fighting styles.
And there's a list of people who are successful, but
I mean, like you look at the past champions, dominant champions, they all have a wrestling background, as their core. But I think with him, like I used to cheer for the guy a lot.
I did too,
and I wanted him to do well,
and I still think he's going to do well.
But when I hear him complaining about stuff that's irrelevant or like stuff that's really petty, I just go, it's just hard for me to cheer, like root for the guy. Yeah, I just want him to lose, but I fight with myself because he's a great fighter and I think he has a lot of potential, and I think one day he can be a UFC champion. But when you see a fighter that's that talented complain that much about stuff that's really petty, it makes you want to go against them.
It does. It makes it like I was a big fan of Israel and and the fact that coming over and really impressed by what he's been able to do in MMA,
especially because he came from the Glory Kickboxing.
And how well he's transitioned and the work he's put in. I was really impressed. But this kind of stuff makes it really like you don't want to root for him because you see the pettiness, you see the the reaching for drama. You know what I mean?
He wants
Like,
that attention.
yeah, he wants that attention. Like, oh, they're talking about me. No one's talking about you.
Yeah,
They're talking about you now because you're creating drama.
yeah. He's a
But
drama queen.
no one's talking about you.
But
And
I mean, Sharp is right. I mean, like, tell me some names from kickboxing that came over to MMA that did well. There's none, hardly nothing.
none.
Like, he's the exception.
Like, and they've been able to do decent, but to like
To
be
be as
world
successful?
champions. I mean,
Yeah.
what, Crow Cop maybe? But he
Yeah.
was in a different era.
Yeah,
I mean, who's really been able to put it, and I still give him props. Who's been able to really put it together as best as he has?
yeah.
I haven't seen anybody really be able to put it together.
Because kickboxers, they're accessible to takedowns.
Yeah, and
And they can't fight off their back.
yeah, and he does all of it, and he's an exception.
Yeah, and then with wrestlers, all they gotta do is really take them down. They can half-ass striking and then take the fight
Yeah.
where they're comfortable.
And he knows this, and I think he's just like, again, it's
But-
pettiness, it's
Yeah,
drama,
and for you
it's
to, like,
reaching.
To get offended by a statement that's
Yeah,
true, universally people agree with that statement. It's like, come on, then you're a fighter. For Christ's sake, he's acting like I felt like giving like a little princess crown. Say, here, wear this, and here's a little lollipop
he
and a sticker.
yeah, he's acting a little bit like a child, and his way of he goes about.
It reminds me of like Rose Namajunas and like how like she a thug or whatever, and then she gets.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate what happened to her. Yeah, it's sad, but to keep
Like I get
bickering about that stuff.
I get having competitive beef. There's that, but then when if you're planning on being a big star, you got to be okay with people criticizing aspects of the sport and you.
Because people get turned off by stuff like that.
Yeah, and the fact that he's already sensitive when they're not even talking about him.
Oh, can you imagine him and Conor McGregor? Oh, Conor would eat him alive.
Yeah. and when you see his posts and you see him like talking about like, oh, he knows. I know people like, are people really paying attention to you that much? Are really people talking about you that much?
I
No,
mean,
they're
I think
not.
people are talking to him not in a good way.
No, not especially now. But he's so talented that he's next level John Jones type of talent. It's just the way he's been able to put everything together in his skill level. I don't think he's invincible though. But I think looking at the division, I think he could easily fight for the title after this.
Especially, yeah. In that division.
Which is hard because I want to root for him, but he makes it difficult to want to root for him, especially with his attitude. So,
imagine him being champion.
oh God,
he would have lived
sensitive, man. He's so sensitive. He really is. Yeah, let's get to a few things before we get to fight picks over the weekend. You have Ben Askren, Darren Till. That's a fight that Ben Askren wants right off the bat. What do you like that fight?
I think it's a good fight. I think Askren Ben can beat Till.
Yeah.
Especially like seeing Till how he fought against Woodley. I think it's a blueprint that he's not a great wrestler. So I think it's a good matchup where it'll show off Askren's skills, and that's it. I think he's one of the only fighters he can beat.
I think so too. I think it'll give him opportunity to do it. Again,
It's a showcase fight.
It's a showcase. It's a guy who doesn't have a whole lot of wrestling credentials against a guy who does. Now Darren Till's a big guy. Again, he's got good striking, really solid striking. We'll see how that fight goes. I honestly don't think Ben Askren's going to do that well. I just don't. I looked at his, Rogan likes to, shout his name off the, the mountaintop and, praise his praises. And even Schaub has been guilty of that. And, you look at it.
Does everything that Joe Rogan does.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But also, Israel complained about that too. No, he complained about the fact that actually Schaub doesn't go with Rogan a lot of times. Like he'll disagree on
Kind of like a New York Rick and Ariel.
Yeah, he'll disagree on certain fighters, and Israel was complaining about that too. Like what? Like he likes to steal, the shine from other fighters, like talking bad about them. Like, just why you got to be like that, man? Just let people get their shine. It's like, dude, it's a
Like you're a public figure. Like you're gonna have to relax. I mean, people are gonna talk about you all the time.
fucking sensitive ass Israel Adesanya, man. That's why I can't. He's so fucking sensitive, man. Like someone can't come criticize other fighters. Now, I just think he hates on Shop. I think especially Shop. I don't know what it was.
I think everything that Sharp does, he's gonna hate.
He just hates it. He just hates the guy.
If you praise him and say, "Why are you praising me for?"
What are you praising me for? I don't care if he praises me. Like,
Yeah.
he's talking good about you, and you're still hating on the guy.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. And he's talking about other fighters, and you're upset because he's not talking about you, or he's talking about your. I don't know. Fuck his name. I really do. I really do. I don't like the guy anymore, man. So petty. Ben Askren, I think it's a good fight. I would like to see it. I don't think he's going to do that well on the UFC. His striking is subpar. But yeah, his wrestling is great. Size wise, he's going to have a hard time dealing with finding his rightful place in the divisions. I just don't think he's going to do that good. And looking at his record, he's fought Douglas Lima and Koreshkov early on in their careers, and they're big names now. But I don't think he would have as easy of a time fighting them now as he did back in 2011, or whatever year it was. So I just don't think he's going to do that well. I'm looking forward to it, though. I hope they book that fight. It's a good trash-talking fight. But let's get to some fight picks. UFC 230, Cormier versus Lewis this weekend.
DC.
Just fight picks. Yeah, I just wanted to check the battery and everything. All right, so.
Yeah, I mean, I got DC in this fight. I think it's a safe fight. I think DC can just wrestle him and get Lewis tired. And he's just gonna, put pressure on Lewis that he's never fought before, and he's gonna win a decision.
I think so too. I'm gonna go with DC. I don't think there's much of a fight here. I like Lewis. I know he's got knockout power, but I think Cormier is gonna probably take him down first round, grind him out. I'll probably be over TKO, crucifix, that type of thing. Some rear naked choke. It's not going to be a whole lot going on in that main event. Chris Weidman, Jacare Souza.
Jacare. I think Weidman hasn't been the same fighter in a very long time. I think Souza presents a lot of threats. His submission game. I think he's just gonna get on top of Weidman and submit him. I think he's gonna submit him.
I think for both of these guys, they're almost in the same place in their careers and in terms of like also how they've been doing lately. They're very in the similar place right now. I'll probably go with, if it stays on the feet, you know what? I might go with Weidman in this thing. Like, I don't think really Jacare. I like Jacare. I like all of them. I like Chris Weidman. I think they're both kind of on the decline. But I think Weidman's stand-up and his ability to not get taken down that much will help him in this fight. So I think he might pull it off. It's going to be like a split decision, most likely. Jared Cannonier versus David Branch.
David Branch.
I'll probably go David Branch, too. I think he'll do this. Take this one. He looked good in his last fight. Derek Brunson and Israel Adesanya.
I'm going to go Israel.
I'm gonna go Israel too. I think he's gonna. Yeah, I think so. I mean, Brunson catches him because he's very aggressive. But I don't know if Brunson's gonna be that aggressive. I think Brunson's gonna be a little gun shy, and he's gonna get picked apart.
He always does. He's always gun shy in the beginning, and then when it matters, I mean, like when
it matters, he gets gun shy.
When the fight's always like when the fight's already gonna be like in the third round and he's losing 2 rounds to none, then he goes after it when it's already too late.
Yeah. And like you look at it with him and Anderson, I think he got just stuck because of it was Anderson. And you see his fights before that, he was going balls out. Not in the Anderson fight, he was like just cautious. He was way too cautious. I think it's going to happen in this one. I think there's a lot of buildup, a lot of animosity, and I think he's going to be very cautious because he knows how dangerous Israel is. So it's going to be a challenge. I think Israel most likely is going to take it and probably fight for the title. The winner of Gastelum and Whitaker, I think. So, who else is on the card? You have another fight that we wanted to. Sijara Eubanks and Roxanne Modafferi is probably on the undercard, the one that interests us the most.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Obviously, with the drama in that fight, and it's Roxanne, so we're fans of her too. So we want to see how she does and how the fight plays out. And if Eubanks wins, it's gonna be some trash talk at the end.
Yeah, towards Joe Rogan.
Yeah, told Joe Rogan.
That's what I want. I'm hoping
she wins.
Yeah,
yeah, just to have her that trash talk. But yeah,
Eubanks.
yeah, that's the weekend. That's the fight for this weekend. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Go to MMAComplex.com, pick up some of the shirts. We'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, you can follow us on social media. Follow me on Twitter, MMA Complex James, MMA Complex Josh. You can follow the show on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all under MMA Complex. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun card with UFC 230, and we're gonna break all that stuff down and more on the next episode. So until then, enjoy the fights, enjoy your week.